I want to thank you all for coming out tonight and for all the hard work you guys do. I've had the pleasure to get to know all of you at this point over the last couple of years, and I want to thank all the civil servants as well in our state and local government. I really do think government in our community is a work in progress. But all of you have run for office several times now, and I'm curious, for positions that you're overworked and arguably underpaid, why do you like it? Why do you keep doing it? And I just wanted a more personal response rather than all the great issue-based questions we've been hearing tonight.
Well, I think I'll start. I was in the House for 14 years, 1984 to 1998, and my friends were talking me into running for office. I guess being a teacher and a coach and knowing a lot of people. And we had a Women's Day program, and Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm spoke at our Women's Day program at the Cranston Street Baptist Church. And I asked her about it, and she says, you run, and if you don't win, you run again. If you don't win, you run again. So I said, 14 years in the House is enough. And I got out. And I thought I was heading into prison ministry or regular ministry. Then the Senate seat opened up in Senate District 6. It's a long story, over redistricting. We sued. It was Mets versus the state of Rhode Island. And they had to redraw the lines for minority representation. So my friends came to me again and they said, Harold, we need you to run for office. And my wife was mad, but when she went to church with our son in Georgia, and the minister said that minorities, people need to run for office. So she called me up and says, okay, I got the message. And it's a true story. When I write my book, that's going to be in it. So I ran again because the people in the neighborhood asked me to. I'd much rather be retired, enjoying myself, but I do enjoy being a public servant. It's very difficult, but it's also very rewarding.
I'll say, Dave, that I just can't help being or participating in the community. I literally, if it's a matter of walking my kids to school and just getting a feel for the vibe and the personality of our neighborhood and contributing in any particular way to the energy that I get from our neighborhood from the time that we moved here 20 years ago, it's just literally invigorating. It's what it is, and I'm proud of the fact that I live here and I'm raising my kids here. In a community I think is really the best community that is literally can be anywhere. I wouldn't live anywhere else. I wouldn't be participating in anything else. I literally love the state. I love the city. I love our neighborhood. I love our neighbors. It's just what it is. It's part of who I am.
Public serving is a rewarding thing to do. It's not, as an elected official, I consider myself, and proud to consider myself, a public servant. It's a joy to be able to meet and talk to someone that you don't see on a regular basis. It is extremely important and nice to have someone interacting with you that doesn't necessarily look like you. It's extremely interesting and rewarding to exchange ideas and plans and so forth and so on. I've been in this neighborhood just about all my life, and I've seen the changes, good, bad, and different. But one thing that I have not seen as frequent as it used to be is that the energy of individuals taking the initiative, making the effort to go and meet your neighbors as you could or should. We don't make as much effort in that. That's my experience. That is what I have seen more now than before. It would be great if everybody starts to practice that. Hello, good morning, how you doing? You don't have to know each other, but you can make an effort to get to know each other. This is a neighborhood association, organization, and variety is the spice of life. And I would like to extend a thank you to Matt for making the effort, the first time in 30 years that the organization has stepped out of its comfort zone to have more of a diverse board ever in its history. But it cannot stop there, because the reflection of the board is not necessarily the representation of the entire neighborhood, because like this lady mentioned, had she not looked on the email, she would not have known anything about it. So each one, reach one, right in your circle, and then the organization will reflect not only those that are on the mailing list, but others that are not, and encourage them to also get on there and participate. They have something to offer.
My little friend lost his parents at a young age. They didn't speak English at home. They were on welfare. They had been arrested more times than they care to admit. They went to college. How they got there, he was never encouraged to go to college. No one in his family ever went to college, let alone graduated from high school. Received a master's degree, went to law school. How he got in there, don't know. Begged, borrowed, and steal. Could not have children. Became the CEO of a corporation, $563 million, servicing 172,000 people a day. If you had said to that person, then now that person wears robes, and if you were to say to that person, no way, he would have said, you must be smoking something very heavy. 65 years in this neighborhood, that's what I'm all about. I'm the American dream. I get it, like many of you do. And that's why I do it, because you know what? If I can do it, because I'm not the brightest bulb, I'm not the smartest person in the room, but you know what? I encourage people every day. Every day. That's my mantra. And you know what? We all have to do the same thing. And I worked with WBNA, and we raised nearly $15 million. This is the greatest organization in the state of Rhode Island. Everybody looks at this organization. And I like to think that I was one of the cornerstones of this. And that's why it's important. And that's why I do it. Because if I can do it, anybody can do it. But you got to have it here. And that's what I do every day. And the way I live, the way I breathe, the way I practice law, or the way I play ball, sports, that's the way I do it. And we should all do the same thing. Thank you.
I guess I'm last. So before I give my explanation, we have Lieutenant Fernandez is here tonight. I want to acknowledge you, Lieutenant, because you do a lot of great work with the police and the neighborhood and the community police. Thank you very much for all that you do. And before the young woman here, I want to applaud you for your concern about the John Hope Settlement House and what it stands for. And although I think Anastasia Williams, Rep. Williams, is there working hard, I just want you to know there's a great history with that place, a tremendous history. I was a young state representative in 1986, and back then they were talking about the Massachusetts miracle, about sending women to work and getting people off of the welfare rolls. That was called the Massachusetts miracle. But what we actually had was a miracle going on in the West End here. There was a director there named Tom Whitten who ran the John Hope Settlement House. For the first time we had received funding, and that place has been operating for over 40 years now. But the child care with the funding, with the state being involved, and so I'm a little disturbed that the state hasn't given the establishment the due process and the people that are there the due process, which is what you were referring to. But there's a great history there, and many mothers left their children there and went to work. And those children went on to college, those mothers have had better lives, and those children have been able to give back to the community over that span of from '86 to now. And I know you want that for your children, and you're now one of those mothers, so you can be assured that, and I'm glad that Judge Leach at least altered the procedure now. We'll get justice, hopefully, and they won't leave anybody behind on that issue. As far as why am I involved, I've lived here 60 years. In fact, when we talk about sweeping, my mom is 92 years old. She has a home on Bainbridge Avenue. She's out there sweeping every day, garbage, picking it up, putting it in the trash can. She walks the park here every day. She takes a 1-hour walk and she comes back and she has all types of debris in her pocket. What are you doing? The neighborhood is dirty, I'm picking up. So you make a very good point. I run for office because I care about this neighborhood, I care about the issues. But Senate 5's a great challenge. This is a great neighborhood. It's a very diverse neighborhood. The district includes from Down City to the West End, to Oneyville, to Manton, to Hartford, to Mount Pleasant, to Elmhurst, and down through the back part of Park Lane in the back part of the city. So I get calls every day from people of all walks of life about all different issues. And I listen to those issues. And there's a challenge there, whether it's the children up in the community centers, or it's the community music works, or it's the different veterans in this neighborhood who reside here. You know, there's a great fight for money. People need grants and funds today to operate. And I think one of the things I want to mention to you is that you have people on this stage that fight every day at the State House for every nickel, because we feel this neighborhood deserves it, because this neighborhood cares. The WBNA is a perfect example. Each year we go and we fight to get funding. What's more rewarding than getting the state now to finally listen that the Cranston Street Armory should have some form of a revival and that the neighborhood get in there? Just Friday we had a walkthrough. We've been fighting that for 5 or 6 years. Weekends, days, nights, in the coffee shops in the neighborhood, brainstorming, thinking about what it is that we can do to make this neighborhood more vibrant. And you know, one of the things, everybody runs for different reasons. I like to think that transparency and who you are and why you're there, what is the reason that you're there. I've run for office. I'm very proud of the fact that I have never taken a political contribution. I've never taken a penny from a lobbyist. Any election I've run, I've paid for that. I have not taken any health care or Blue Cross benefits. I feel that I'm here to do a job for you folks. I'm able to do that. I'm fortunate enough to represent the neighborhood, and it's a joy when you look at some of the people that are here, some of the projects that we continue to work. I'm an athlete. Like Representative Lombardi said, when you're an athlete, you're competitive. Every day is a challenge in this neighborhood, not just going to court and fighting for someone as an attorney. And as long as I have the fire in my belly, you know, to stay up there till 11, 12, 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, this is a rigorous process. You know, there's some Darwinism involved in politics. We look around and there are a lot of issues. But there are a lot of people that don't want to make that time and commitment and sacrifice. And at the same time, you have to be able to take criticism and make hard decisions. And I relish that. There are hard decisions, but only strong people make hard decisions. And that's who is a strong leader. And that's who you want on your side when you need somebody fighting for you at 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning at the State House, when somebody's trying to slip a fast one by. Not on Senate 5, you're not going to do that, because my constituency won't allow it, and your senator won't allow it.
Okay, we're going to move on to
Thank you.
the next.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks, David.